Hello everyone. I've been feeling a little these last few weeks, so I thought I'd review something a little less depressing and bleak for this video. Wonder Boy Asha in Monster World is an action-adventure platform game developed by Artlink and released for PS4, Nintendo Switch and PC in May 2021. The game is a remake of Monster World 4, a Mega Drive game that was released exclusively in Japan in 1994. Fun fact, Monster World 4 is actually my favourite Mega Drive game, so much so that I even own a physical copy of the Japanese version of the game. And let me tell you, I had to go through a lot of trouble to get my hands on this item. Totally worth it. So when I heard there was a remake of the game in the works, I was excited to play it, even if the 3D art style didn't really appeal to me. However, now that I have completed the remake twice, I'm happy to say that I think this may be the definitive version of the game, even if it still has its fair share of issues. Wonder Boy Asha in Monster World's plot does not differ in any meaningful way from the Mega Drive original. You still play as a young girl named Asha, who sets off on a journey to save the planet from an evil, malevolent force. Honestly, the story is nothing you haven't seen before, but that's okay, especially since the characters you meet throughout your journey are all still incredibly charming and lovable. The remake even has voice acting for some of the cutscenes, as well as fantastically animated characters and environments, which adds a lot more life to this world than was seen in the original game. The first hour or so of Asha in Monster World may seem a bit dull to some players, especially since the level design and enemy encounters are incredibly simplistic when compared to later areas in the game. However, this is all done to allow new players the time to get to grips with the game's mechanics. Asha's moveset during the opening chapter is pretty basic. She can run, jump, attack, block, climb ropes, and do this downward thrust attack that kinda resembles the pogo stick attack from DuckTales. However, this simplistic gameplay loop evolves once Asha completes the first dungeon in the game and obtains a magic lamp. Rubbing the lamp releases a genie who warps her to a city called This will be the main hub area for the remainder of the game. It is here where you can buy new weapons and accessories, as well as talk to the local residents and complete occasional side objectives. It is also in this city where Asha first finds a mysterious egg. Hatching this egg produces a Pepalagoo, a cute blue bird who will accompany you for the rest of your journey. Having this little blue dude by your side actually changes up the gameplay significantly, and you'll need to use him frequently to navigate the game's world. For example, in the beginning your Pepalagoo is very small, so he can't do a huge amount. However, Asha can still use him to double jump and to access switches. He is also very useful within the game's first proper dungeon, the Fire Caverns, since he is immune to fire and can use his body to protect Asha. As the game proceeds, however, your Pepalagoo will start to grow in size, and his usefulness will increase dramatically. By the end of the game, he will have grown so large that he starts to almost resemble a blue Totoro from that Totoro movie. However, the best thing about this little guy is the bond Asha forms with him throughout the game. Even though the Pepalagoo never actually speaks during the game, he and Asha still form an unbreakable friendship that actually led to a few moments that got quite an emotional reaction out of me. Just like Asha, every single person who plays this game will fall completely in love with this little guy by the time the credits roll. During the game, Asha will need to visit 4 temples in order to free the spirits trapped within them. These temples essentially serve as the game's dungeons, and what I love about them is how they all differ significantly from one another. For example, The Fire Temple is primarily focused on platforming and avoiding traps, while the Ice Temple is more puzzle focused, with several riddles that need to be solved before you can face the boss. There is even a temple where Asha is separated from her Pepelagoo and needs to traverse the dungeon without his assistance. Asha in Monster World frequently switches its gameplay up in unique and interesting ways, which stops the game from ever becoming too dull. Even the bosses in the game deserve a special mention, since they are all fantastically designed and a joy to fight. Most of them will pose a decent challenge, with some of them even requiring a significant amount of problem solving in order to defeat. Visually, Asha in Monster World looks great, although I fully understand that this art style won't be for everyone, especially those who adored the pixel art style of the original. But I personally think the 3D art style is beautiful, with some environments in particular being absolutely stunning to behold. Unfortunately, these visuals come at a price, with the game suffering from occasional frame rate issues, especially on Nintendo Switch. If you aren't a fan of the new art style, you can still buy a physical copy of Wonder Boy Asha in Monster World, which comes with the original Monster World 4 game built in, fully translated into English. I have no idea why the original game isn't included in digital versions of Asha in Monster World, but whatever, I guess. Overall, Wonder Boy Asha in Monster World is a good remake of a fantastic game. If you have never played Monster World 4 before, this is probably the best way to experience it. The remake has several quality of life improvements that make the original game difficult to return to. For example, the ability to save the game at any point is exclusive to the remake, and an exploit in the original game that basically allowed the player to earn the maximum amount of gold in minutes has also been removed, which helps the game feel a lot more balanced overall. My only real issue with Wonder Boy Asha in Monster World is its price. $35 for a remake of a game from 1994 is way too steep in my opinion. The game should have been priced around the $20 mark at the very most. So even though I highly recommend giving this game a go if it looks interesting to you, you should absolutely wait for a sale before doing so. I'm just glad this 16-bit masterpiece has been given another chance to find the success it so deserves.